Good evening everyone. Good evening. So today we are going to discuss a comprehensive MCQ series based on mixture of different topics. So we are going to discuss economy and some current affairs plus polity. So those who are preparing for OPSC, so this will serve as an adding edge to their preparation. So stay with us, and while discussion, make sure that you people are noting the important points that I am going to narrate in between. All right? Yes. So let's start the session. So in this case, the question number 1, that is with reference to the core inflation, consider the following statements. So you people are also going to participate in the session, all right? Yes, sir. Okay. So with reference to the core inflation, consider the following statements. Now when it comes to inflation in India, as I have already told you that inflation is measured in 2 ways. One is headline, second is core inflation. So when it comes to headline inflation, so what is the definition of headline inflation? The total inflation in an economy is known as headline inflation. So it simply includes volatile as well as non-volatile goods. So volatile goods are those goods whose prices are subject to fluctuation and they keep on changing. And non-volatile items are those goods which the prices of goods, those goods which remain stable are known as non-volatile goods. So when it comes to headline inflation, it includes both core and volatile and non-volatile. So statement 1, it is defined as a change in the cost of goods and services. See, up to this point it is defined as a change in the cost of goods and services. It's correct. But here we have added including food and energy. So this is a straight hint for you, including food and energy. So it is right is excluding. So statement 1 has to be incorrect. So be little smart. So identify statement 1 is in A and D. Okay, so A and D is not going to be the right answer. So it has to be between B and C. So second is, it is often calculated using the wholesale price index. So when it comes to indexes of inflation, while measuring the inflation, we have 2 indexes. One is wholesale price index and the second is consumer price index. So what is the difference between 2? Okay. When it comes to WPI, we only include the manufacturing of goods and we exclude the services, whereas in case of consumer price index, we include the services also. Okay, so when it comes to core inflation, we use consumer price index because inflation has to be measured in terms of goods as well as services. So 2 is incorrect. So identify 2 and 1 is already incorrect. The right answer has to be option B. Statement 3, it estimates the effect of increased price on consumer income. Any doubts? No. Now let's proceed to question number 2. With reference to liquidity adjustment facility, LAF. Now while we have discussed monetary policy, I have told you there are components of monetary policy. One is legal reserve requirement, that includes CRR and SLR, and another is liquidity adjustment facility. So this is an arrangement where commercial banks borrow from RBI, and vice versa. RBI can also borrow or commercial banks can lend money to RBI. So please name it. If RBI lends money to commercial bank, it is known as deposit. If RBI lends, repo rate. If commercial banks deposit with RBI, it's known as during the time of inflation, repo rate is increased or decreased? Increased. Why it is increased? To decrease the supply of money. Very good. So it says it is a facility extended by RBI to all the banks. Now first of all, pay attention to the term all the banks. Or not all the banks, only scheduled commercial banks. Only scheduled commercial banks. Now when it comes to scheduled commercial banks are in those banks which are included in Schedule 2 of the RBI Act, and banks which have a paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh, paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh, and whose activities are not detrimental to the interest of general public. In simple language, their activities are not harmful for the welfare of public. So it's not like that I am going to take your money, I'll give it to someone else, and you will come and ask where is my money. So I say I don't know. So that is scheduled commercial banks work for the benefit for the welfare of people. So in this case, it is a facility extended by RBI to scheduled commercial banks. It enables liquidity management on day-to-day basis. Right or wrong? Day-to-day basis. Now when it comes to MSF, banks borrow overnight. There is overnight borrowing, there is borrowing in terms of days, there is borrowing in terms of months. It can be in terms of years. Long-term repo operation, alright. So if it's been borrowed for overnight, that comes under MSF, marginal standing facility. So option 2 is totally correct. Now if option 2 is correct, find out A and D, eliminate them. Eliminate them, A and D. Why? Because option A is incorrect. So wherever you will find A, just eliminate it. Now coming down to the third statement, that is interest rate in LAF is fixed by the banks. It's fixed by the Central Bank of India, Central Monetary Authority, that is Reserve Bank of India. So the statement 3 is incorrect. Only option 2. Alright? Good. Now, with reference to the order of Saint Andrew the Apostle, consider the following statement. It is Russia's highest civilian honor. Yes. Recently, S. J. Shankar. Who is S. J. Shankar? External Affairs Minister, Foreign Minister. Foreign Minister. Okay. Recently, S. J. Shankar was awarded this award during his visit to the country. It cannot be awarded to the heads of foreign states for outstanding services. Now, as a matter of fact, it was awarded to our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. So option 2 is incorrect. It cannot be awarded to the heads of foreign states. There is no such provision that it cannot be awarded to the heads of foreign states. So in this case, the right answer is option 1. Now the statement is, how many of the statements given above are correct? Only 1. Alright, now name the highest civilian award of India. Bharat Ratna. And can it be awarded to non-residents or those who don't belong to the India? Yes. Outsiders? Yes. Foreigners? Please name any such foreigners who have been awarded. And Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Alright. And this Bharat Ratna can be awarded posthumously. Yes. And who is the first person who has been awarded in India? Mr. Lal Bahadur. Good. Now this one. So this is, I hope you will be able to answer it. It's a very basic question. With reference to Monetary Policy Committee, now when we talk about MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, it's a committee which comprises of 6 members. 3 members are from RBI, 3 members are nominated by Government of India. The main objective behind setting this MPC is to regulate the interest rate. Regulate simply. Now, before 2015, so let me give you a brief overview about Monetary Policy Committee. Before 2016, RBI governor had the discretionary powers, which simply means he was the sole authority to decide whether to increase interest rate or to decrease. In the year 2016, the concept of Monetary Policy Committee was introduced. In the year 2016, the concept of monetary policy was introduced. After this, the decision to increase or decrease the interest rate is consensus. It's based on consensus, which comprises of 6 individuals, 6 different individuals, 3 from RBI and 3 from Government of India. The governor of RBI is the chairman of this committee. Now, in case of tie between the two, who has a casting vote? The governor of RBI has a casting vote. Now statement 1, section 45 ZB of the statement 1 is totally correct. Deputy Governor of the RBI acts as chairperson. No, RBI Governor himself. It's not Deputy Governor. Alright, statement 2 is incorrect. The MPC is required to meet at least 2 times a year. 4 times a year. Once in a quarter. So there are 4 quarters. 4 times a year. The MPC, the first MPC was constituted in the year 2019. 2016. 2016. So in this case, the right answer is option A. Only one. First statement is correct. Rest 3 are incorrect. Now consider the following statements about labor data published by Periodic Labor Force Survey. Now, so you must have heard that the unemployment rate in India is this much. The women participation in the workforce has increased or decreased. So there is a report by the name of Periodic Labor Force Survey. So it's a comprehensive report based on the present employment situation in a country. All right. So it is published on rural as well as urban basis. When it comes to rural area, it is published annually. When it comes to urban area, it is published quarterly. So remember this, a labor force survey, LFPS, it's a comprehensive report and it provides an insight into the employment status of a country. All right. Now why I am discussing this question with you. From next year, January 2025, this Periodic Labor Force Survey will be published on monthly basis. From January 2025, this report will be published on monthly basis, both for rural and urban areas. So please remember this. This Periodic Labor Force Survey report from January onwards will be published on monthly basis. Earlier it was published on quarterly basis. Quarterly means after 3 months in case of urban areas and once in a year for rural areas. So now both the statements are correct. The right answer is option C. Which of the following statement about the BRICS grouping is not correct? The first BRICS summit was held in Russia. That is correct or incorrect? Okay, let's move to the statement 2. South Africa was included in the group in 2013?
No, sir. No.
Okay. Currently the BRICS has more member countries than ASEAN. BRICS has
10. No, sir.
equal. BRICS plus BRICS, it has 10. ASEAN has 10. So
10, sir. 9, I think.
10. BRICS plus 5 new members have been added now. No, BRICS 5 plus. Okay, the new development bank, which was also known as the BRICS BRICS Development Bank, was established in 2015. Correct. So which is the incorrect?
C is correct. D and C.
The incorrect is South Africa was included in the group in 2013. In 2009. So not correct. So not correct, na?
Sir, third one?
Third one is correct.
More member countries
The upper Siang project was recently in the news. The upper Siang project was recently in the news. The construction of this dam will submerge more than 300 villages belonging to the Adi tribe. The project is dedicated to which state? It's in Arunachal Pradesh. So see, you have got additional information. This Adi tribe is related to Arunachal Pradesh. So there is a tribe in Arunachal Pradesh. Its name is Adi tribe. So Siang and Dihang, Lohit, all these are rivers flowing in the northeast. Now this question, it's little tricky, but let's discuss it. Consider the following statements. In the Union Budget 24-25, the Finance Minister announced a cut in the customs duty on gold to 6% from 15%. Basically, custom duty is simply a duty that while importing something from other countries, it's imposed on imports. It's imposed on imports. So here it's saying that the import duty on gold has been reduced from 15 to 6%. So this is purely a factual based question. Second, the rate for taxation of long-term capital gains on the precious metal has been lowered to 12.5% from 20%. See, both the statements are correct. Now, statement 2. Basically, there is a concept called short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain. Now, earlier, for example, the tax classification of LTCG, long-term capital gain, it was applicable to investments like investment in share or investment in property, investment in real estate property. Now before this Union Budget of 24-25, if you have assets, if you have investment in shares, okay, and you have kept those shares for 24 months, and you have sold it after 24 months, so it will incur your long-term capital tax, LTCG. Now these rules have been changed. Now from 23rd July 2025, the condition is that if you are buying shares, let's suppose you have purchased the shares of rupees 1 lakh, and after 1 year, after you have purchased it today is, the date is 18th, you have purchased shares of rupees 1 lakh, and after 3 months the value of share has increased to rupees 1,50,000. So there has been increase in the value of shares by rupees 50,000. So now if you will sell those shares, the amount of profit that you have incurred, you will have to pay short-term capital gain. If you are selling the investment before 1 year, so please pay attention. In case of investment in shares, if you are selling it before 1 year, it will attract short-term capital gain, and if you will sell after 1 year, it will attract long-term capital gain. Earlier, the minimum time for which you were supposed to hold it was 24 months. It has been reduced to 12 months in case of shares, investment in shares. Now in case of assets like building, property, earlier the minimum time duration was 36 months. Now it has been reduced to 24 months. So if now suppose you have purchased a property, a home, a house, you have purchased it for rupees 1 crore and you have sold it at profit. But if you have sold it before 24 months, you will have to pay short-term capital gain. If you have sold it after 24 months, you will have to pay long-term capital gain. So the long-term capital gain is 12.5% from this 23rd July onwards, or in simple language, Union Budget 24-25 has reduced the percentage of long-term capital gain. So the right answer is option C. Now one more thing, there is a concept called indexation. Now as you all know, in an economy there is a concept of inflation. So let's suppose you have purchased an asset for rupees 10 lakh and you have sold it for 15 lakh after 5 years. But the government will take into account the effect of inflation. if the effect of inflation is taken into account, that is called indexation. That's called indexation. So which simply means your actual return is not the return you have received. Because of inflation, the value of 5 lakh is less. It's not exactly 5 lakh. So that is called indexation. That's known as indexation. Now this is very important question. Which of the following paramilitary forces? So please understand the difference between these paramilitary forces. There are total 7 paramilitary forces in India, and these paramilitary forces come under Ministry of Home Affairs. Your CRPF, ITBP, Border Security Force, and Central Industrial Security Force. All these come under paramilitary forces. Now don't include it that defense forces, Navy, Air Force, or Navy, Air Force and Indian Army. So it's clearly paramilitary. Which of the following paramilitary forces has got the approval for the first ever all women battalion? No, it's CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. So please remember this. This can be a potential question for upcoming exams. Wat Phau, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is under restoration and conservation by the Archaeological Survey of India. Now you have to simply tell this site is located in which of these? Wat Phau. Now how many World Heritage Sites, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, how many there are in India? 43. And the recent one that has been added is Assam, Modams. This is a cultural site. That is a cultural site. 46th World Heritage Summit was held in New Delhi. So this is how you have to link the concepts. While revising one questions, you should be able to revise all the concepts associated with it. So please take note of it. Answer is Vietnam. Okay, now before discussing this, Vietnam, like India and Vietnam have decided to, they have undertaken a joint project related to National Maritime Heritage Complex that is based in Lothal, Dockyard. All right. Now this is also latest current affair. India's first sunken museum was recently inaugurated at. The right answer is Humayun Tomb, Delhi. Humayun belonged to which? Like he was from which? Mughal dynasty. Mughal dynasty. He was a son of. Babur. And who was the son of Humayun? Akbar. Very good. So this Humayun tomb, it was, so see, there is, Shah Jahan was not the first person to construct Taj Mahal in memory of his wife. Basically, his wife, Humayun's wife, had constructed this Humayun tomb in memory of his husband. So please remember this. Humayun tomb was constructed by the wife of Humayun in memory of her husband. So okay, so please pay attention to this. With reference to Tarang Shakti exercise 2024, consider the following statements. Now please pay attention to every single statement. It is the India's largest multilateral. Multilateral means large number of countries. Many countries have joined. So that's called multilateral exercise. Bilateral means between two. Okay. Now it is the India's largest multilateral exercise. Army exercise, see, there can be army exercise, navy exercise, or air force exercise. So you have to answer Tarang Shakti. It is the India's bilateral army exercise, or it is the India's largest multilateral air force exercise. It is the India's bilateral navy exercise. The right answer is option C. Multilateral Air Force exercise. Tarang Shakti. It was held in okay. With reference to Law Commission, the Law Commission consider the following statements. It is a statutory commission, or first statement is a statutory commission. The commission is usually chaired by a retired judge of the Supreme Court or a High Court. Basically 23rd Law Commission has been formulated recently. Okay. Serving judges cannot be appointed to the commission. The recommendation of the report are binding on the government. So first of all, it's a non-statutory commission. It's not a statutory commission. And the commission is usually chaired by the retired judge. So the statement 3, it says serving judges cannot be appointed. That is incorrect. If, for example, if there is a judge of High Court, he or she can be a part of Law Commission. Statement 3 is incorrect. Statement 2 is correct. Statement 4th, nothing is binding on the government. Remember this. I mean, whosoever, like in case of Finance Commission is a constitutional body. The recommendations of Finance Commission are not binding. So how come the Law Commission recommendations will be binding in the government? Binding simply means whatever they have said, that should be accepted. That is accepted by the government. So it's not binding on the government. The right answer is option 2. Only one. Only one. It's not a, so there are, you must have heard constitutional bodies and non-constitutional bodies. Constitutional bodies are those bodies which are listed in the Constitution of India. Which are listed in the Constitution of India. And this Law Commission is a non-statutory. Now answer this, question number 14th. Same statutory body. See, I'll give you a hint. CAG, Comptroller Auditor General, it's a constitutional body. Niti Aayog is an executive body. Executive simply means which can be created at the discretion of government. Like Planning Commission was executive body. So it has been abolished very easily. Niti Aayog has replaced Planning Commission. Earlier we had Planning Commission. Now any hints? See, I have given you hint. So the best thing that there is no none. It means there are some, but there is no none. I have given you hint. CAG is a constitutional body. Niti Aayog is an executive body. And the right answer is option B. CVC and NGT both are statutory bodies. Now please try to answer this. With reference to the appointment of Governor of State, consider the following statements. The President shall appoint the Governor of State. Absolutely correct. President appoints the Governor of a State. President has the authority to appoint the Governor of a State. The appointment of the same person as Governor for 2 or more states is not allowed. It is allowed. So please don't say yes. For example, the Governor of Odisha, he can serve as the Governor of West Bengal. So it's clearly mentioned in the Constitution. So statement 2 is incorrect. The qualifications of the Governor and the condition of his office are not mentioned in the Constitution of India. So when the word governor itself is mentioned in the Constitution of India, so why, I mean, Constitution would remain silent about his qualification? Okay? Only one. Statement 1 is correct. Rest 2 are incorrect. With reference to Committee on Public Undertakings, so as you know, Parliament formulates different committees. Many a times a bill is introduced and bill needs proper vetting. It should be evaluated by different people within the Parliament. So these committees are formulated. A group of person, they sit and discuss what are the shortcomings of this bill, how this bill can be improved. All right, so that's the work of committees. Now, with reference to Committee on Public Undertaking, consider the following statement. It consists of 22 members elected by Lok Sabha only. Lok Sabha. So there are Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So it comprises of people from both the houses. 15 members from Lok Sabha, 7 members from Rajya Sabha. So statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect. A minister is not eligible to become member of the committee. That's absolutely correct. Now, in case a member becomes a minister, so he will cease to be a member. For example, he is a member of a committee. Now the present government has decided to elevate him as a minister. So he will have to give up his post, that he has been a part of this committee, so he will have to submit his resignation. So a minister cannot be a member and member cannot be a minister. The leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha is the chairman of the committee. That is totally incorrect. Alright. The leader of opposition is not the chairman. Chairman is selected among the members. So if there are 22 members, out of those 22 members, a person will be selected as a chairman. And this, like, you can add and remove the person after a year. So the members keep on changing after every year. So it's not like that I have appointed him as the member of this committee, so he will remain unless the government is there, let's say for next 5 years. After every 1 year, the members change. Okay. Okay, so I'll try to answer this one. Consider the following statements. All executive action of the government of India shall be expressed to be taken in the name of the Prime Minister. It's taken in the name of President, head of the state. Prime Minister is head of the government. It's taken in the name of President. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha shall make rules for the convenient transaction of the business, which simply means now how the parliament should function. The rules and procedures related to the functioning of the parliament. So the statement says the Speaker of the Lok Sabha will formulate these plans or your rules. So that is also incorrect. The President will formulate. So you have learned this thing, like regarding the transaction of the business in parliament. In parliament, President will formulate policies, not Speaker of Lok Sabha. Statement 1 is incorrect because all decisions are taken in the name of President, not Prime Minister. Let's move to the next question. Okay. Now this is also very important question. Which of the following Indian state passed a bill to raise the minimum age of marriage for women from 18 to 21 years? Himachal Pradesh. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India provides for the separation of judiciary from executive? So there are 3 organs: executive, legislature and judiciary. Legislature is the law making, executive is to implement the law, and judiciary is to review the law, whether the laws are in line with the Constitution or not. So in this statement, Article 50 is the right answer. Article 50, it talks about separation of judiciary from executive. And what about Article 44? Uniform Civil Code, UCC. Okay. Now which of the following statement about the Election Commission of India is correct? Election Commission of India is a constitutional body. It is entrusted with the responsibility of conducting elections throughout the country. Every state has state election commission, and when it comes to the elections of Lok Sabha, So these elections are conducted by Election Commission of India. The statement 1 says the president appoints a chief election commissioner and all election commissioners. Second, the chief and the other 2 election commissioners get the same pay and benefits as judges of High Court, which simply mean if the judge of High Court is getting some benefits, the same benefits will be provided to the election commissioner, Okay. Now the statement 3, the Election Commission of India is empowered to supervise, oversee and manage elections to municipalities and panchayats. So first of all, when it comes to municipalities and panchayats, there is separate election commission, that is State Election Commission. That is State Election Commission, not Election Commission of India. Statement 2, the chief and the other 2 election commissioners get the same pay and benefit as judges of the Supreme Court, not High Court. Judges of the Supreme Court, their salary is charged to the Consolidated Fund of India. Their salary is charged to the Consolidated Fund of India. So only statement 1 is correct, that is option C. So Election Commission is a constitutional body, Article 324 of the Indian Constitution. Remember this, okay? And the chief election commissioner is assisted by 2 other commissioners. Okay, they are appointed by president. But each Election Commission of India is not responsible to conduct the municipalities and panchayat elections. That is separately done by State Election Commission. All right?
Yes.